Chief of Police Carl John explains the joint border control. Leader of the People's Progressive Alliance submits suggestions for businesses. But first up, Prime Minister revises the travel documents for the community. Those are the headlines for Tuesday, March 31st, 2020. This is SXM Daily News. I'm Valerie Van Putten. Now for the details. Prime Minister Mrs. Sylvia Jacobs has revised the travel documents that are needed to travel freely on the Dutch and French side of the island. There are 3 documents, namely the Professional Travel Proof, Personal Travel Waiver, and the Certificate of Exception. She explains.
Persons who, at this moment, are allowed to work in essential services should carry, as of today, a professional travel proof. This is available on our government website page, www.stmartingov.org/coronavirus. You are allowed to fill this in, and we have not done it that you have to do it daily for work, but on a weekly basis maximum. So if you're not working for the entire week, of course, then you stipulate the days of the week which you are working. So this job proof, this travel document, authorizes you through your employer's signature. You fill in the name of your employer and his or her title, your name, your first name, the date of birth, your home address, what is the work you do, the location of your work, and the route which you travel from home to work, and what form of travel you're using, whether bus or car, to get to your job. At the bottom, here you will place the week or the days that you will work, the starting date, and your employer's signature and stamp, if they have one, will be on this side. This you should carry with you whenever you are traveling to and from work during the week, in order not to, because we are trying to limit the persons who are traversing the road. For every other movement within our borders, you are asked to carry this form. Form B is the personal travel waiver. The personal travel waiver says that in accordance with Article 4 of the Ministerial Regulation issued on the 30th of March, relating to the movements in the context of the fight against the spread of COVID-19 virus, I, the undersigned, Mr. or Mrs., you place your name, the date you were born, and your physical address, and you are declaring by this document that you are either making a trip to make essential purchases for health reasons, either for essential family reasons to assist the vulnerable people or for childcare, or you're making a short trip close to your home for individual physical activities such as exercise, walking, and excluding collective sports because, gatherings are not allowed, and to be able to walk your domestic animals. You will then give your location that you are going to and your signature, date, and time. This personal travel waiver, if, for instance, you are going to work and you live in the Dutch Quarter area, you work in the Philipsburg area, your travel document will say such. And when work ends, if you end at 3, 4, or 5, and you are on your way home, and you stop at the supermarket on your way home, you do not need to have the personal waiver because you are still on your way to and from work. However, if you are deviating from your home to work route, you should fill out a personal travel waiver, whether you're going to your doctor, pharmacist, or any other essential service. This document, yes, you have to change daily. It's specific per day. The certificate of exception, this form, is in French and English, as it has to be read by both authorities. This authorizes you, as a Dutch citizen, to go to the French side to be able to work, or vice versa. It says that you are traveling between your home and place of work when working remotely, where working remotely is not possible, or you are traveling for urgent medical reasons with the supporting documents, meaning an appointment with your doctor or a prescription that needs to be filled. I am hoping through this short elucidation that the general public of St. Martin understands what the 3 forms, as has been published on our website, means. We have also asked all of our stakeholders that are allowed to be open to provide copies as well at their location. And here at the Government Administration Building, we have also set up the opportunity for persons who are unable to print the document to pick up blank copies in front of the government building.
And still to come, President of the WIFO says he is working on implementing a new clause for workers. And we'll have the details of that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
President of the Windward Islands Federation of Labor, Theophilus Thompson, is also working on protecting workers. In light of this new development, COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Thompson says in the future, when putting together CLAs, which are collective labor agreements, a clause will be included to give coverage to their workers. Meanwhile, President of the WICLU, Mrs. Claire Elshot, is of the opinion that more protection is needed for workers, a living wage, and the social protective floor. She says she has been advocating this for many years.
Well, you know, now with this COVID-19, people are concerned about the jobs, whether the companies, because the companies are saying that income is coming in, and they wasn't prepared because insurance companies wasn't covering liabilities like these. They cover hurricane, they cover all the natural disasters like fire, earthquake and so on. But this kind of situation, matter of fact, even your regular insurance, if you have certain ailment, the insurance says they're not covering you, they can't cover you. Imagine for this kind of situation. So, and that opened our eyes too, because now in the future, when we put together our CLAs, even though we have insurance, like life insurance and so on, in our CLAs, now we have to put a clause that cover these kind of situations. I will force the company to force the insurance to make those coverage possible, because that's a major concern right now. And those things, same how we have health and medical insurance by law, which is mandatory, we have SCB to take care of that part. The other areas like what we have now should also, because like you see, in those big countries like in Holland, in Italy, government now are now injecting monies to offset wages and other benefits that workers will not be privileged to. Okay? Here, government is saying that they have no money to get involved in that kind of big injection. They have to depend upon Holland. And if we had a equal living wage like what's in Holland throughout the kingdom, then it would be even more easier for us to tap into those resources.
Well, as president of the WICLU, this is what we have been advocating for a number of years, the living wage, the social protection floor, which again is a recurrent discussion on a yearly basis at the ILO, the International Labour Conference in Geneva, Switzerland. These are different things that we have been advocating for, and the proactive role of our parliament in also, let's say, guaranteeing the type of protection that is needed for the workers on the work floor, whether you have a pandemic, yes or not. Even starting from the abolishing of that discriminatory 6 months contract, these are things that we cannot, or we have not been successful in getting the government that far to see. Every time there's an election, they actually put this on the agenda, but once elected, there is no follow-up. The only group that is not invited for social dialogue is the unions. Even when you request or you put something together, you hardly get a response to it. So these are type of behaviors in our culture that has to change.
And leader of the People's Progressive Alliance, Gracita Arundel, are giving suggestions on how businesses can get financing to assist them in this dire time when many will be not working, especially during the month of April.
Notice that the Minister of Finance, when he submitted the proposal, which is still, as far as we know, which is still floating out there. However, and it stated that in April, some of these financial support will be dispersed to the businesses, but there's no date. There is also no statement, no indication, as far as we could discern from the press releases, etc., that are coming out, how the businesses should go about submitting these requests. Right now, I know of businesses who are struggling really hard to make their payroll. And, you could oversee these issues for a couple of days, even for a week. But then it behooves us, governments and businesses, to get together, and government from this side to say, okay, we have approached SFE or any other institution. For my part, if government says, listen, we know we're going to do this differently, fine, but just get it done. Just get it done. Things are getting very dire out there. So whatever steps are taken to expedite the disbursement, whether it is 80% and 90% or 100%, depending on what government decides, to help the employees stay employed as much as possible. Again, this is something totally different than the food vouchers. Separate position on the food vouchers, which is good for those who are the most vulnerable amongst us. So, Ricardo, I just want to give my support to what government is doing in general. However, I want to express our concern from the business point of view to be much more proactive from governments and parliaments to make this happen this week, this first week of April, and not a week or 2 or 3 or 4 from now. Long midterm, so 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, the people of St. Martin, the business community should know in terms of deadlines what is to be expected. So let's continue praying, let's continue working in the interest of St. Martin.
And as we continue with the news at this time, the Department of Romy has closed all of their departments in an effort to prevent the continuous spread of the COVID-19 virus and to protect their civil servants. The Honorable Minister of Romy, E.J. Doran, has decided to close all departments of the aforementioned ministry to the public effective Monday, March 30th, 2020, until further notice. The following departments of the Ministry of Romy will be operating via remote and/or digital means. The Department of Inspection. For emergency services, please call for assistance on the mobile number 1721-527-8122. For the Department of Permits will enhance the possibility of a drop-off container for all permit-related documents from clients. For emergency services, you can call for assistance on their mobile number, 1721-527-8123. For the Department of Infrastructure Management, for emergency services, please call for assistance on the mobile 1721-527-8124. Minister Doran would like to urge the general public to take note of these changes to avoid any inconveniences. Now turning to our weather forecast for March 31st, 2020. A relatively dry and stable air mass will continue to restrict deep cloud formation and precipitation across the region. Meanwhile, a weak Atlantic high-pressure system will maintain a light to moderate breeze. Seas will remain slight to moderate through the next few days. Now let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, Minister of Justice says measures will become stricter. We'll have the details of that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
And Chief of Police, Mr. Carl John, and Minister of Justice, Ms. Anna Richardson, who also attended the joint press conference on French St. Martin on Sunday last. The police chief explained the definition of joint controls. Meanwhile, the Minister of Justice, Anna Richardson, wants the people to understand the importance of this pandemic and says that the measures will become more stricter.
For us, joint control means indeed working together as teams, and which we can imagine right away two police forces working together will mean an increase in capacity. So on both sides, we don't need 10 men, for instance, if the French is controlling the French side and we're controlling the Dutch side. It's automatically an increase of capacity. As of last week, we have came together as Dutch police and gendarme, where we discuss different plans and even different times where we will implement those plans. So it's an extensive and daily relationship, communication between the two forces so that we can make sure everyone complies with the measures on both sides of the island.
I have learned that the measures are going to become more stricter because we want to be able to see that the people of St. Martin understands the importance of this pandemic that we're dealing with. We've been lenient, but now measures have to be a little bit more stricter, and that is being enforced. And I'm going to support the Prime Minister in her capacity as the chairperson for the EOC, along with the specialists and the experts that are on the team, and we're going to make sure that the people of St. Martin are protected at best.
And as we continue now with more news, as a result of the impact of the COVID-19 on everyday life and work, it has been decided to postpone the Governor's Youth Awards for Excellence 2020 until later in the year. This, however, depends on the further developments in regard to COVID-19. Based on this decision, a new deadline for nominations will be communicated along with a new scheduled date for the awards ceremony. Any eligible nominations submitted prior to the yet-to-be-established deadline will be honored. And still to come, member of the anti-poverty platform asks, why aren't we being treated equally? I'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
How are you doing this morning? Good. So, Rebecca, thank you for coming. I work as a psychologist at the Mental Health Foundation. I mainly see children and adolescents, but I also see adults. So whenever there's a crowd, that's when you're starting to feel
nervous.
Okay.
Nauseous.
Okay, it is kind of like your body. We are so used to taking care of our body. If we have a little ache in our foot, we know to rest it. We know, okay, I might have walked too much, so I need to rest. Now, of course, that can be just an ache in my foot, but I can also break my leg. Now, for breaking my leg, I would have to go to the doctor. So that kind of goes the same for mental health illnesses. So you can come in for something little as, I'm really stressed out lately. What would you need? A little bit of rest. But someone can also come in with way more difficulties. We're not here to judge right or wrong, good or bad. Is it helpful for you? Fine. Is it not helpful for you? Okay, then let's see what we can do about it. But not a wrong nor right, absolutely not. It's a magnifying glass without judgment.
Well, there's still a lot of stigma on the island, unfortunately. It's not a topic that people easily talk about, and that's a shame. They're afraid that they get judged, and there is still quite a bit of judgment. I mean, often we hear, don't go to that crazy house. Once you go in, you never go back. And it's just not true, We treat a lot of patients here, and a lot of them, we get back on their feet.
Our goal at the Mental Health Foundation is for us to help you improve your life, for you to live a better, happier, and fuller life.
And as we continue now with the news, in this public announcement from GEBE, they are informing the general public that water supply to Davis Drive, Freeport Drive, Ellis Drive, St. Bart's Drive, Mustique Island Drive, and Paris Drive will be interrupted on Thursday, April the 2nd, 2020, from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. This outage will allow them to carry out the necessary maintenance throughout their water distribution center. And they apologize for any inconvenience that this may cause. And then we continue now. The member of the anti-poverty platform, Dr. Randall Raymond Gisseroen, says that the BES Islands will be getting assistance from the Netherlands, and then he wonders why Aruba, Curacao, and St. Martin cannot benefit as well.
9 days ago, on March the 17th, the Dutch cabinet sent a letter to the Second Chamber of Parliament in the Netherlands with emergency relief measures for employers and for employees in the European Netherlands affected by the coronavirus and for employers and employees in the Caribbean Netherlands. The structure of the letter is the same and the measures are also comparable with adjustments to the specific situation of the Caribbean Netherlands. The Dutch cabinet argued that in Aruba, Curaçao, St. Martin, Bonaire, St. Eustatius and Saba, a new reality of stalled activities applies. In addition, the substantially stoppage of air traffic and cruise tourism will have major economic consequences. The consequences for small-scale societies, which rely heavily on tourism, are enormous. So, what are the exceptional economic measures announced for employees and companies on the BES Islands because of the coronavirus? Minister Raymond Knop stated on behalf of the cabinet, number 1, a 3-month 80% compensation for loss of wages and income due to the coronavirus. An entrepreneur who is faced with a loss of turnover of at least 20% and as a result is unable to keep staff working can apply. Employers making use of this emergency measure are obliged to keep their staff in service and to continue to pay them in full, for which they are therefore compensated to a considerable extent. The emergency regulation also applies to employees with a 0-hour contract or a temporary contract. Independent, self-employed entrepreneurs and other individuals, including freelancers, also can apply for this 80% subsidy for their monthly wage so that they can continue their business. Also, employees who have already lost their jobs as a result of the coronavirus can qualify for this scheme. Measure number 2, an emergency allowance in the form of a gift for the primary need of entrepreneurs who are affected will be worked out in more details also for entrepreneurs in the Caribbean Netherlands. And measure number 3, liquidity support for the companies announced in the European Netherlands will also be extended to the companies in the Caribbean Netherlands. A possibility for special deferral of payment will be temporarily introduced for the entrepreneurs who have been or will be experiencing liquidity problems as a result of the corona crisis.
And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, the Inspector of Taxes hereby informs the general public that due to the COVID-19 outbreak, you are automatically granted postponement of filing of the following taxes. For a provisional profit tax return, filing and payment, which is due on March the 31st, 2020, it has been extended to June the 30th, 2020. For income tax return, filing, the due date is May the 31st, 2020. It has now been extended to August the 31st, 2020. Please be reminded of the revised opening hours. They are now open from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 noon until further notice. And for further information, you can contact them via email, taxinfo@stmartingov.org, or by phone, 1-721-542-2143 or 721-542-5301. The other numbers are 721-542-5304 or 721-542-3839. I am Valerie Van Putten. Just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.